And then to make things worse, my stupid ass wife, she keep nagging, making me do things, and I don't want to do nothing. Like, I just want to chill.
It just seemed like to me you got woman problems. But I see stuff in the news and on social media all the time where guys will commit stupid crimes, doing dumb stuff that sends them back to jail. And I often ask myself, what's so fun about jail? Like, why are these men basically volunteering to go back? It makes no sense to me. But we're gonna try to make some sense of it today. All right, so let's let's keep going.
Hey, y'all, this may sound crazy, but I miss being in jail. Like, I tried, but the free world is not for me. When you locked up, everything is free. You don't have to pay for food, shelter, none of that. Free health insurance. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It has even gotten to the point where I'm willing to do something, anything, just so I can get locked back up. Cause I done had it trying to do the right thing. Like, that's not in my nature. And then to make things worse, my stupid ass wife, she keep nagging, making me do things, and I don't want to do nothing. Like, I just want to chill. Like, damn, can't you see I've been locked up for 10 years? That's why I can't wait to get locked back up so I can get away from her.
Look. It just seemed like to me you got woman problems. But I can feel you on the stuff, basically because when you're in prison, you have no financial responsibilities at all. Who wouldn't go for that? If somehow all my bills were paid by somebody else, and then all of a sudden they say, now you have to pay. What? Especially if they've been paying for 5-10 years, and now all of a sudden it's my responsibility. Why? It would be unfair to me, so I would want it to go back to the way it was, so I can kind of get that, but still I would rather pay bills and be free. So I don't know, but let's go.
I gotta say, if there's anything I miss about prison, it's the haircuts. I went to get a haircut yesterday. This right here, guy did a great job. Loved my haircut. But it was $50 plus a $10 tip, $60. And then they hit you with the service charge for paying online, $63. So, I get it. That's today's world. Prices are going up, whatever. But in prison, you could get a haircut for literally 3 mackerels, 3 pouches of fish that were worth $1 each. And then you give the guy a $2 or $3 tip. So you're getting a haircut for $6. And it is one of the nicest haircuts you're ever going to get because it's guys that either learned in prison and just cut hair all day, every day as their hobby, as their hustle, or they're guys that were barbers out on the street and then came to prison and got a job as the barber. And these guys do a great job. Does get a little scary though when you're a white guy like me that looks like McLovin, who they all think is a little suspect, especially if they hadn't seen my paperwork, and they're holding that little razor blade because they pop it out of the razors, and they start cutting here very close to the neck, and you're just like, oh my God, please, I'm good, my paperwork's good. Do not slash my throat with this thing. But yeah, if I missed anything in prison, it's those haircuts.
We gotta learn to, adapt. So if you don't like that they're charging you $60 for your haircut, just buy some clippers that cost $60. You buy them one time and learn to cut your own hair. It's gonna save you some money. All right? I could go into the barbershop and have them shave my head or give me a baldy, but I don't. I do it myself because it's cheaper. So if you learn to cut your own hair, the prices of your haircut will be the same as it was in prison. How you like that? But let's go to the next one. So talent show? went crazy. Like, you know how the big girl that's a cheerleader and she do the split and the crowd just goes crazy. They did the same thing. Like, man, I guess when you're in jail, you gotta find different ways to entertain yourself. Okay. And you go crazy over the littlest thing. Cause a group of men doing this outside of jail is weird. But in jail, it's okay because what else they gonna do?
I'm getting ready to answer a question I don't think many people would think to ask me, and that question is, what is one of the funnest days I had during my 21 years of being locked up? Because fun is definitely not a word typically associated with that environment. And here's my answer. Okay, in the summertime, sale houses get extremely hot. Think of warehouses with 300-400 guys with no air conditioning. We just have these small fans that we can buy off commissary. So one year it had got extremely hot outside, and the administration became very concerned about how hot the sale houses was getting. So here's what they came up with. They had the fire department come out and open up all the fire hydrants in the prison. And then they released the units to let the guys go play in the water coming out the fire hydrant. And I would never forget the images of all the smiles I seen of all these grown men, tough guys, playing with their friends in the water coming out of fire hydrants. That was one of the funnest days I had during my time locked up.
See, yeah, like I said, what a group of guys running through the water that's coming out of the fire hydrant, you know, out on your local neighborhood. When you look at that, that's weird. But if you drove past the jail or prison yard and you saw that, it would you wouldn't look at it as strange, cause what else they got to do, especially when it's hot, like he said it was. They was out there recreating the last scene of a Disney movie. Okay. Oh man, so, like I said, all this is fun. I still would not trade that for freedom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Prison fuck nigga pageant, man. Prison fuck nigga pageant, man. This how they do up in this bitch. This how they doing here. Yeah, they do it in here. This how they doing this, man. They making it rain, man. Pick that bag up, bro. Prison fuck nigga pageant, man. Contestant number 1. They gave him one.
This is a fashion show? Like I said, what else they gonna do? What else they gonna do? You know, like if I was in jail or prison or whatever, I think I would be participating in something like this. You know, probably not one of the people, you know, walking the runway, but I'd be over there cheering, because what else am I going to do? How many books can you read? You know what I mean? Like, but let's keep going with this, man.
You gotta do a little extra for that bag now. That bag is special. That's $3.98 on top. That bag $3.98 on top. You gotta do a little more extra. You ain't did that yet. You gotta show us something. Bounce that ass. You gotta bounce that ass for that red sack. Hold on.
And I just want to say, if I was in jail and we was putting on a show, we was acting, well, I wouldn't do this out here, you know, in the world free either. But I am not going to be the one who's going to play the gay dude in jail in a play or anything like this. It's just not. No, cause I don't want nobody tapping me on my shoulder. So, was you actually acting back there, or you trying to tell me something? Like I don't know. This is, I don't. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, get somebody else to do it.
Fuck y'all niggas going. Hey, bro, that bag come 390.
I'm telling y'all, some of the toughest guys in prison be gay. Now let me say this, I'm not coming against anybody that's gay. I'm not saying anything against that, but I'm talking about some of the guys that be in prison. Look, one day when I was in Jackson prison, and I was new, I'd never been in prison before, right? So I'm in prison. I'm walking back to my cell after I've gone through what they call quarantine, where you're in your cell for 23 hours a day. So I spent about 2 months in quarantine, pretty much solitary confinement, right? So one day I'm walking, back to my cell, and I look in my cell before I get there, and there's a piece of candy on my bed. I think it was a Snickers or something like that. So, and I'm like, oh, I was real nice to somebody to, give me a Snickers, and I was about to go in there, and I was about to eat that Snickers, and I don't know where this guy came from, and he was like, bro, do not eat that candy. I was like, why? He said, don't you know in prison they put candy on your bed, letting you know that they like you, that they want to get with you? If you eat that candy, you saying that you belong to somebody. And I was like, what? See, I didn't know none of this stuff when I got in prison. And I remember one other time in prison. In prison, when you're in there, every so often you have to do a head count to make sure that nobody's escaped from prison, right? So they're doing a head count at this one time, right? And so they're looking for these 2 guys, and they're missing. So they're thinking that somebody tried to escape, right? So alarms go off, blah, blah, blah. They end up finding, it was this real little guy and this real big guy. They end up finding these guys inside the stall, inside the bathroom stall, and this big guy got this guy off the ground up against the wall, just wearing him out sexually. This is what you see every day. Just one more story. Another friend of mine, man, this was one of the toughest guys in prison. He came from behind the wall. He had just did 10 years behind the wall. Guy was buffed up, man, been down for a long time. And I looked at this dude. I kind of looked up to him, man, because he was hard as a mug. So one day I come upstairs, man. I walked up the steps going back to my cell, and there's a little area behind the cell. Here this brother go behind the cell back there wearing this other brother out. And for me at this point, it is like, man, y'all just cut. My thing was, when I went to prison, my first thing was, you ain't getting none of this, but if you're going to get some of this behind, there's going to be some dead cold behind, but you will not touch this.
The jail rules. First of all, how you gonna give me a piece of candy and not tell me what the rules of the candy are, and then expect me to follow those rules, not knowing them? I can see if I said, I can see if you handed me the candy and said, if you eat this now, we go together, but if you don't eat it, we don't go together. Okay. If I know the rules first and I eat the candy, okay. But if I don't know the rules, you can't hold me to that. All right? That's one thing. Like, look, I know how society works. All right? I don't know how jail works, and I don't want to know how jail works. They could get you in jail on some stuff that you had no clue. I don't want to go. They don't play fair in there, okay? They don't play fair. My goal is to stay out of there. I've never even been arrested, and I don't want to know what it's like. I pray to God I never experienced that. And I pray you never experience that. And if you have experienced it, I pray you never experience it again. Okay? Yes, you can go in jail or prison and make it fun or make you have fun moments. Just like any situation. out here in the free world, if you're, down on your luck for whatever reason, you can have fun moments where you enjoy yourself. But I don't care how much fun y'all be making these videos and making it seem like y'all having fun in prison. I do not want to be laying in the cot next to you or above you or under you. No, that is never going to happen to me. I am a law-abiding citizen, and don't try to pull me into some stuff that you doing criminal wise, because I'm gonna tell. Okay, I'm not going. I'm not going in there. All right. If I gotta tell on you, I'm gonna tell on you. It's just how it's gonna be. All right. Thank y'all for watching this video. All right. Let me know your thoughts about all this down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one.